So I'm standing out here right now and I'm looking at this and it says restaurant for lease. And this place used to be called the Craving Cave. Personally, I think it's, when I say these things, it's no offense to anybody. I don't know anybody in town really, so I'm not really trying to say anything about a particular owner. But like Craving Cave, this looks terrible. It looks terrible. The name is terrible. This is someone who invested money to get this situation going, and they went for, I think they had video poker. They had what looked like just cheap eats, like really bad food. You could just tell it was terrible. And they went really dirty on it. Like that was the vibe. It's like just cheap, dirty food. And already this part of town, like right here, you have this overhang here. Then you have like they built it next to this. So there's something here. It's like, oh wow, this would be cool. Like maybe a little Italian restaurant or something like that, right? You get a little loop here with some nice whatever, like I don't know, like block it off, get a sound barrier or something like that, have people come in. But this is too nice for this location. It won't work. When you're doing a restaurant, you have to go for what you want. This is not really the best place for that. Like right across the street, you have the Super 8, which is converted into Aura. And then you have the Wild Goose, which kind of commands a big part of the culture here in town. The Wild Goose has been around for a very long time, and it's culturally significant. When you open up a bar restaurant right here, you're competing with the Wild Goose and the Oak Tree Bar. Now, that can be a good thing sometimes, where it's like, okay, well, there's more places for us to go out when we choose to go out. It's like another aspect. It's like you don't want to just have one bar to go to. You want to maybe hop around a little bit. But the Wild Goose is also known for having live music. Now, this doesn't have live music. They have a SOU sticker here. Maybe they were trying to get the SOU crowd. You're a little far away. You're a little isolated. You got the Tire Center over here. You got Rite Aid and Albertsons. This place isn't very sexy, and it's a terrible place for a restaurant, in my opinion. You don't want to put a restaurant here. Someone invested a lot of money, and I feel like they might not have got the sense of the culture of the town, or maybe oriented themselves, I don't know how else to say it, but kind of energetically around it. Like, it's a difficult spot to know where to put something. It is probably a good place to put something commercial. In fact, even though US Cellular is right down the street, I would say put a Verizon in. This is the kind of thing you would want here. Something where it's like people have to come here to get some business done. Or the cell phone store that's over in the shopping center with Market of Choice, they should get this place. And the place that they have in Market of Choice, that should be used for something else. That corner spot is a beautiful place. I'd be more interested in putting a restaurant there than here, right? Like this space isn't really for that, I feel. And that's why there's US Cellular right there. It just makes kind of sense. Yeah, they didn't stay open long. And I'm just thinking, it's like, this is what you don't want in a town, where you have something that comes up like this, where it's like, well, it's been for lease for a little bit. And it's like, man, I'm not going to put a restaurant here. Like, what would you put in here? You're going to have to survive in the winter times. You're not going to get the summertime push, most likely, from the Shakespeare Festival. It's going to be really hard for you, because you won't, they're not going to come all the way out here to benefit from whatever kind of food you're going to make. And it doesn't mean that's not possible. It's just that means that I can't think of it. Maybe you do, the one thing you might be able to do is like all you can eat pizza, or all you can eat pasta, doing like a very simple Italian pasta joint. What I feel like in Ashland, restaurants need to consider is that if they're looking at a bottom line and it's not working out very well, consolidate their menus, do kind of flashy dishes, do like something that is a little bit different, tastes great, and invest in like maybe a few nice local ingredients to get some better flavors and taste for your food, and go from there and see how business does. Like, people want to go out and eat a nice food. They don't necessarily want to have, unless you're like, your situation is different, like if you're at a restaurant, Like you want to have like something that you want to eat and leave like, you know, like you ate something nice. If you have a bar, I feel like it can be more fun to have a larger menu. Like I was just looking at the menu at the Wild Goose, and it's a big menu. And it's like, for me, I'm more of like I look at something, I want to consolidate it. But when I'm like really drunk, or I had like a few drinks, or I'm like wanting to just kind of kick back, it's kind of nice to have a couple things to pick from, you know? That's kind of like it increases the level of fun, so to speak. So it just kind of depends on what your niche is and how you kind of like want to think of yourself as the restaurant you have. But I feel like it's better if you're struggling to minimize the amount of food cost by having overlap as well from your dishes, so you're not buying a lot of produce, and that you're sticking to also local ingredients so you can make some really good food, so that you're actually making great food from scratch and you're lowering your food costs. And then and this is just philosophy, you know, this is the philosophy of it. Sometimes it might not work out. Sometimes it's like your finances aren't going to work out that way, and you're not going to find the right ingredients that you feel you're going to want to make for the food you want to cook, or it's just not going to, maybe the recipes don't, you're not finding what you want. You know, there's so many different ways to make food, so much different food. It's just infinite, you know, and there's infinite combinations that you can make. But I think when you start thinking about a location and about what would go good there, about the surrounding area, you know, there's not infinite options. And then you're financially constrained. So there's going to be limitations with that also. So you're not necessarily going to be, you know, it's not infinitude. You know, it's like you have to put some boundaries on yourself and not go certain directions, so that you're allowing yourself to kind of grow in where you double down on and see if it works. And so that's why it's like, oh, fuck, well, we're not making, or, you know, oh, shoot, we're not making as much money as we want to. Well, how do we do this? Like, what can we do to do this? And it's like, well, we want to minimize our menu, and we want to be known for something. And that means we want to have a sense of what's going on in town, and what the food is in town, how the quality of it is in town. And you know, I've been walking around and eating at different restaurants this summer, and I have to say, so far, I'm not impressed. I'm just not, and I'm just not impressed. The food is not very good. You know, you get a sandwich somewhere, you get something somewhere, it's not that great. I'm not impressed for the prices, and especially when you're going somewhere for $14, or somewhere that's usually the ballpark, and you're leaving and you're not feeling like it tastes very great. One place that does have pretty nice food, and even though it's kind of, you know, how would you put it? I wouldn't say it's trying to make really great food, right? Bonsai has good food. My family and I, we would consistently go there. And it was because they kept on bringing us back, because the Bonsai bento boxes are really fucking awesome. You know, you get some, sushi rolls, you get pot stickers, you get salad, you get rice, and you get chicken. I mean, that's amazing. All for under $20. Like, it was, and I think they upped their prices a little bit, but you know who didn't? But it's like it's fun when you get a lot of stuff. And even if I feel like they mess with some really low quality ingredients. Unfortunately, the ranch is really gross. The spring mix that they use is really like iceberg, it's really like cheap lettuce. I feel like and the rice is also low quality. You know, if they increase that a little bit, I probably would have gone back more. Anyways, that's all for now.